What's up, guys? We're out here today. I'm not smoking anything yet because today I want to throw my hat into the ring of the Pipe Smoking 101 episodes. I know everybody and their brother's done a Pipe Smoking 101, how to pack a pipe, how to light a pipe, how to smoke a pipe. So everybody else has done one. I figured I'd throw my hat into the ring. Maybe I can give some insight that somebody needs somewhere. So what's the very first step in Pipe Smoking 101? Well, we need to figure out what we're going to smoke, right? The pipe and the tobacco. Now, there are gazillion and one different shapes of pipes, brands of pipes, all kind of stuff. The only advice that I'd like to give about picking a pipe for your first pipe: don't go and get the crazy stuff. Don't go and buy some really fancy, crazy shape. Don't get a huge pipe. This thing's got a bowl the size of my middle finger. I can't even reach the bottom of that bowl. That is a huge bowl. You don't want that. Even something like the Missouri Meerschaum General. This is the Corncob Nation's 2018 Pipe of the Year, but the bowl shape is the General. That is a really deep chamber, and it's going to hold a ton of tobacco, and that's not something you really want to start off with. You want to start off with something that's got a more moderate bowl. This is a Diplomat Apple from Missouri Meerschaum. This is a Morgan's Bone pipe. These are great briar pipes to start with. They're pretty inexpensive. I think less than $40 shipped. Really good quality. They all have some little aesthetic blemishes on there. You can see I've got a couple little sand pits right there in mine. But they smoke great. Excellent quality pipes. So if you're set on a briar pipe, I highly recommend Morgan's Bones. However, everybody who knows me knows I'm a corncob guy. So if I were to give advice to somebody who's just starting out pipe smoking, it's going to be: don't spend a crap ton of money on a really nice pipe. Don't go buy a $200 Peterson or anything like that. Missouri Meerschaum Legend, under $10, anywhere you want to get it. Nice bowl size, easy to hold. If you burn through it, who cares? It was $7, right? So this is just a great pipe to start with, Missouri Meerschaum Legend. These, I think I mentioned in a previous video, I have kind of like giveaway bags to people who ask me about pipe smoking, and this is the pipe that I include in those little bags. This is actually a second. Missouri Meerschaum sells little bags that have all of their seconds, which again are pipes that have some kind of little aesthetic defect that prevents them from being one of their first select pipes, but there's nothing that prevents them from smoking well. You can kind of tell this one, the shank is drilled kind of high up on the bowl. And it's not perfectly straight in there either, but who cares, man? It's $7. It's your first pipe. Just grab. I mean, if you could get a bag of these seconds, I think the pipes run about $5 a pipe in those bag of seconds. They sell them in bags of 7 now, and these little Legends are great pipes to start on. So just picking a normal size bowl. Here's another one. This is a Salvinelli. This is a nice pipe, but again, small bowl size. It's not huge. It's a little bit bigger around than the Legend, and the bowl size is a little bit bigger around. It's a little shallower too. Well, actually, they're about the same depth. So either one of these are about the same bowl size. This one might be a hair bigger, but something like that. You don't want a huge pipe. You don't want something crazy. You don't want anything super fancy. You don't want to spend a ton of money on your first pipe. Just plain old pipe works great. Second thing we need to decide is what kind of tobacco we're going to smoke. While I tend now to lean towards a lot of flake and coin tobaccos, for a beginning smoker, I really think a ribbon cut tobacco, which is these that are kind of cut into, the individual little pieces of tobacco there look like little ribbons. It's already cut up, it's easy to pack, easy to smoke, stays lit well. This is Scotty's Angler's Dream, which is a really nice aromatic tobacco. That's something else I would recommend to a first-time pipe smoker. Go with a really light aromatic tobacco. Lane's 1Q is really popular. Lane's RLP6 is really popular. Any of Scotty's, Trout Stream, Angler's Dream, Bass Pond, these are all great blends too. Light aromatic, you don't want to... I know a lot of people like Latakia tobaccos, and I personally like Latakia in my tobaccos too, but for a first-time pipe smoker, get something that smells good. Just most tobacco shops you can go in, they have the bulk tobaccos in jars or something, and you can pick it up. Put your nose in there and smell it. Pick something that smells good to you. If it smells good to you, it's probably going to taste good to you. So, now, the next step is packing the pipe. Now, this is how I pack the pipe. There are 101 different ways on how to pack a pipe. I'm just going to show you how I do it. It works for me. You can look at other videos. If a different method works for you, great. This is just how I do it. So, the first thing is we're just going to take a pinch of tobacco and just kind of let it fall in the pipe. You're not really putting any pressure on this. You're just kind of what I call gravity filling the pipe, and that's just allowing gravity to take the tobacco. I tap the side of the pipe just to get it all kind of in there. That's a big old chunk of leaf right there. Tap the side of the pipe just to get it in there. Once it's full gravity filled, right? You tap in the pipe and the tobacco's not sinking down anymore. I'm going to take my finger and just push that down to about half of the bowl depth. So, we fill it up once, push it down to about halfway. Great, it's not going to take a lot of pressure to push it down to about halfway. Then we're going to take it, gravity fill it again, all the way to the top. Tap the side of the pipe to make sure that it's all in there and all the big air pockets are gone. That's what's going to kill you and cause lots of relights, is when there's a lot of air pockets in there. So we've tapped the side of the pipe. It's all the way full. We're going to push that down to about 3/4 the depth of the bowl. Okay? We're just pushing that down a little bit. Now the next step is I'm going to take a good pinch of pipe tobacco. I'm not going to gravity fill it this time. I'm going to put my thumb over the top of the bowl just like that to kind of hold it in there. And I'm just going to push with my thumb now. I'm not really putting my finger down in the bowl now. I'm just kind of pushing with the tops of my thumbs. Just boop, boop, boop. A little bit of pressure, but I'm not really packing hard. You don't want a tight pack in there. Okay? So, now the bowl is full and it's packed. This should be kind of spongy when you push on it. Should not feel like you're pushing on a brick, okay? It should be a little spongy. If you want to make sure you got a good pack, go ahead and take a draw on the bit. It should feel like you're trying to suck soda through a straw, okay? If you need to know what that feels like, go get a soda from McDonald's and suck through the straw, and then compare it to what your draw through your bit feels like. Okay, so it's not tight. It doesn't feel like you don't want it to feel like you're trying to drink a milkshake. Okay, if it feels like you're drinking a milkshake, just go ahead, get the tobacco out of there, start over, and pack a little bit lighter next time. So, gravity fill to the top of the bowl, tap, 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 to allow that tobacco to settle so you get nice even distribution in there. That way you don't have any of those big air pockets. When you get an air pocket, what happens is the ember is burning down, hits an air pocket, well, there's no more fuel left to burn. There's no tobacco there because this is just air underneath the ember now, so the ember's going to go out and you're going to have to tamp and relight. Okay, so tap, 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 push it down to half, gravity fill it again, tap, 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 push it down to about 3/4, and then take a pinch, put it in there, and just press with the top of your thumb. Okay, you're not pushing it down in there. You're not using a lot of pressure. You just want it in there. Test straw. It should feel like soda through a straw. Next thing you need is a lighter. This is Rosenthal or Rosenthal, however you say that, lighter. It's a soft flame lighter. I like it because it's angled, so when I am lighting the pipe, it's not going to burn my fingers. A Bic works great. Any pipe lighter is going to work awesome. I also have this is a clipper lighter. It happens to be in a 50 caliber casing, but anything with a soft flame. What you don't want to use is a torch lighter, and that's a couple different reasons. The biggest one is you don't want to burn the crap out of your pipe, right? We're smoking out of something wood. Go get a piece of wood and hold a torch to it and see what happens. We don't want that. We want a soft flame, and we really are just trying to light the very top. Now, the first time you light the tobacco, you're going to draw in, not like you're chugging a beer. I always tell people, don't smoke like you're chugging a beer. Smoke like you're sipping a fine whiskey or scotch or brandy or something, okay? So you're just going to lightly pull in, move the flame around the tobacco. You want to get a nice even light all over the top of the bowl. Okay, it's lit now, and you can see the tobacco has kind of risen up above the top of the bowl. That's completely normal. Okay? It's supposed to happen. Now what's going to happen with this first light is it's going to go out. Because when you light it and the tobacco rises up, it creates a lot of air in there. And the tobacco, it's not a compact fuel source for the fire. So it's going to go out. The first light is always going to go out, and it's supposed to go out. And we call it a false light or a charring light. Basically what we're trying to do is just char the top of the tobacco. We're going to pack that down and create an ember. Alright. So this particular lighter happens to have a tamper right there. This tamper is really teeny tiny to me. Very often I'll use a golf tee. If you get your cobs from Aristocob, they send you several golf tees. Scott's awesome over there, so he'll send you several golf tees. Those work great as tampers. Golf tees, nails, a stick, your finger. You can use your finger to pack it down. It might burn your finger halfway down the bowl, but anything will work well as a tamper. The most important thing is you don't want to, we're not cramming this down here, okay? All you're doing when you're tamping the tobacco down is you're pushing the ember. You're just putting a little bit of pressure on the ember to push the ember down into the next layer of tobacco. That ember is going to burn up here. Once it's burned all of this tobacco, you're just going to put just a little bit of weight on it to push it down into that next layer of tobacco so it can burn that next layer of tobacco. Then it's going to burn up that, and you're going to push it down a little bit until it burns that next layer of tobacco. Okay, so now what we're doing, pipe's gone out at this point, so I'm just going to take the tamper very lightly. I'm really just using the weight of the lighter. I'm not pushing down on this at all. Okay, most tampers you can do this with, you're just using the weight of the tamper to push it down, and we're just kind of creating a little compact burning surface there on the top of the bowl. Now this time when we lit it, I got a little bit of the tobacco rising up over here, so I'm just going to push that back down, kind of just barely touching it with the top of the tamper. And voila, your pipe is lit. Again, we just want to take little sips. Imagine you've got a $100 bottle of scotch, $200 bottle of scotch, and you're just taking little sips of the scotch. You're not going to chug it. It's not a PBR, okay? We're not going to chug it. You just want to take little sips of it. If the pipe goes out, guess what? That's okay. Everybody's pipe goes out from time to time. This one might have just gone out. That's a good tobacco. You don't want to be billowing big clouds of smoke all the time, okay? If the smoke that's coming out of here feels hot on your tongue, or you get what we call tongue bite, which when you get tongue bite, you'll know what it is. It feels like it's biting your tongue. If you're getting hot smoke, or you're getting a lot of tongue bite, chances are you're smoking it too quickly, okay? When you smoke it too quickly, what happens is that ember burns really hot, and it gives you that unpleasant sensation of the tongue bite. You're also not going to get a lot of the good flavors from the tobacco. The tobacco is going to be most flavorful at the lowest burning temperature. Okay, so you want to puff just hard enough to keep it lit. Just hard enough. That bowl should always be going on the edge of going out. If you can keep it just on the edge of going out without letting it go out, you're a master pipe smoker. That's not going to happen the first couple times. You're going to have to relight. You're going to get some tongue bite. You're going to get some hot smoke. Here's the thing. If the pipe feels like it's going out, you're pulling on it, you're not getting much smoke, and it feels like it's going out, don't suck on it real hard to try to get it to light again. Just let it go out, tamp it down, and relight. Okay? So now I've got a nicely burning pipe. I'm just going to barely touch the top of this ash, and again, I'm just having to move around the perimeter of the bowl because this tamper is so little. But I want to keep kind of a little compact ember burning on the top of the tobacco there. Okay. The worst mistake that I made when I was first starting, number one, is I did that where when the pipe was going out, I would draw really deeply on it to try and keep it lit. Or you'll see a lot of people put their fingers over the top of the bowl and draw in, and that works sometimes. But again, you don't want to suck it in a lot. You just want to barely sip on it. Okay. The worst mistake that I made, though, was tamping too much. Okay, really, you should realistically only need to tamp maybe once, twice, maybe 3 times throughout a bowl of this size. Okay, this is not a huge bowl. There's not a ton of tobacco in there. Probably take you about half an hour to smoke, maybe 45 minutes if you got a lot of relights. And that's okay. If you have a lot of relights, it's fine. The biggest thing is keep the tobacco cool. If you get the tobacco too hot, it's not going to be a pleasant experience and you're not going to want to repeat it. Keep the tobacco cool. You're going to have a nice smoke. You're going to have a nice flavor, and you're probably going to want to try again later. Okay? Now, the biggest, most important thing about pipe smoking, whenever you're smoking a pipe, sit back and relax. This is the most relaxing thing you can do, is just sit out on a porch, look across your property, or in my case, my rental property, and just enjoy the flavor of the pipe. Gives you a second, just think, process the world and your life, and it's a really great experience. I really hope you guys do well and enjoy the journey, because it is a journey. It's a learning experience, right? When I first started smoking, I drew too hard, I was tamping too much, packing too tight, and it takes some practice to figure out. Don't give up. Just sit back and enjoy the experience, and I think you'll really quickly learn exactly your method for packing, your method for lighting. It might be a little bit different from mine, and that's fine. As long as you're enjoying it, you're doing it right, okay? So just enjoy it, sit back, relax, enjoy your pipe, and stay smoky, you guys. I'll see you next time.